What's going on, everybody? This is Roster of the Burbank Misfits. And of course, I'm always joined with my wonderful, delightful co-host, CW.
Hey y'all.
And if you weren't here last week, like I spoke about the AVN thingy. We didn't win, but we appreciate everybody who nominated us for best adult podcast. It's a great honor just to even be nominated. But regardless of all that, we have a very special guest today. She was nominated for two AVNs this year, best newcomer, and the best booty. And she's been doing a lot of great, like a lot of stuff in the industry and just been blowing up. Her name is the wonderful, the awesome, the spectacular Jenna Starr.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. So for everybody out there who's been under a rock, tell them like who is Jenna Starr?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah, I'm asking you. Like everybody, like
I hate that question. Who are you? I don't know. What do you want to
No,
know?
no, like because I think it's just like people look at you.
Sorry, I'm like it's like when
okay.
you're in school and they're like, "Tell about yourself," or
No,
your
because
job interview.
everybody look at you and you say, "Oh, as just another ordinary porn star," but there's so much more to you than just.
Is that what they say, Rockstar?
I mean people in general. Like they look at porn stars and say, "Oh, they just have sex on camera," but there's so many more elements, so many more like if you think about like Shrek and like what he said, like it's so many like layers to every human on this earth. So it's like there's more to her than she just get penetrated on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel weird like giving bullet points about myself, really though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they gave us
I guess
email.
I'm a really humble person, and then at the same time being put on the spot about telling about myself is like really awkward. So
I understand that.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
So let's do it like this. Okay. You used to work in cosmetology before you got into the industry.
Yes, for 11 years.
What did you specialize in before you did that? And how did you make the transition?
Before I did like what?
No, like what did you specialize in cosmetology before you entered in the porn industry?
I mean, I did it like when I worked and trained and everything. I mean, I did exercise most of my license, but for 5 years when I had my own business in Texas, I specialized in microblading and I did like spray tans, eyelashes, waxing.
Nice. Because I know, like, I usually get my eyebrow wax every 2 weeks. I have a mean unibrow, and I hate it so much. Like, I look like Spock from.
I like threading, bro. Personally,
threading hurts.
I know, but his eyebrows be looking so
threading,
good.
they actually just break the hair off outside of your skin, so I've never really been a fan of threading. Also, if you want a good shape, they usually like don't do a very good job because they're running around your eyebrow with a straight line, so they can't really get in there and do a very good curvature.
Okay, I'm listening.
See?
But I don't know what yours looks like, so I can't judge your eyebrows.
Like, I don't even see my camera. I don't know you're on. Like, it's
I
dark
can
in
see.
here. Yeah, mine, like right here, I gotta get it done again. So right now it's coming back in. I haven't got it done since like November, and it usually just is this thick, and it comes in this thick usually, and it's just like, eh. And it's
Yeah,
just like,
you have eyebrows though. There's so many people out there, especially women, who don't have eyebrows, or they just have like messed
really
up.
thin. Yeah. See, and that's the only thing I care about because I just look weird because it's just there. It's just one of the cringiest things in the world.
Yeah. That's how I feel about my pubes.
See, I wasn't ready for that. See, the thing is, when it comes to that, like I shave down there. So I would feel the most awkward because I have my friend wax my eyebrows for me, and I would feel the most weirdest if I went there and I said, "Hey, excuse me, can you wax me down there?"
Yeah.
Just from a male perspective.
Right. And it is an odd job, like to have to do that on people, because I had a client when I waxed eyebrows in Pleasanton, California, and she did that for a living. And I remember her telling me about how like it was like she was like, it's good money, but man, it's rough because they're trying to ask you on a date or
Hey,
because
since my asshole's clean now, like sparkly smooth, you want to go for some coffee?
right, since you've been so intimate.
See, like, and this is it's probably my mishaps, but I would feel if somebody is, applying the wax, they have to move it around in order to get, everywhere they need to go to.
Yeah.
And after, so much maneuvering,
Yeah.
something might get a little happy.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
That's what I'm telling you.
And I don't want to be
Exactly.
like this,
It's
like
not even it's not even necessarily like anybody's trying to be that way. It's like you're down there like moving around and stuff, and I guess they just can't help it.
exactly. And I don't want to.
Oh man, I was just no. I don't think I'll be going to get waxed then.
See, it is just down there. Like,
No,
it might
funny
not be for
story
everybody.
about I have a funny story about that kind of this. I remember this lady was like trying to hire me to after I had my own business. So it was just kind of like, this is weird. She had her own business. She was married, so she wanted to hire me to do that on men because she felt like it was going to be like really good money. But she didn't want to do it herself, and her husband didn't want her to do it herself, but she wanted to do it. And then she like wanted to like give me some weird percentage of it. And I was
Mhm.
like, no, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it under my own business. I'm going to make full profit, but I didn't really want to do that job. And honestly, it really wasn't like a man hating thing. It was just more of like I was scared I was gonna rip somebody's balls off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would want the max percentage if I was going to be like looking at somebody like all these balls and buttholes and tearing
Yeah.
hair off of them.
Okay, look, the reality is you just don't know what you're gonna get. Okay. And 85% of the population is not as clean as you would want to think. So,
Yeah,
you know.
Ugh.
yeah. I mean, and even if it's clean down there, you got some weirdo dudes out there who know you do
Yeah.
waxing down there, and
Mhm.
would and this goes into people sending DM like sending dick pics, like they expect you to have a reaction if they get hard or whatever. It's like, well,
Uh,
since you're down there and
no.
it's clean now, you want to do something to it?
Yeah. I don't know why they would think that, but yep.
It's it's like a for some weird dudes out there, they think, oh, they will see an erect penis and automatically they fall in love with you. It's like, oh, here's a dick. Even though you probably are married or you like if you're since you do the
It's a
interview
completely
stuff,
non-sexy situation.
you get paid to touch other people's genitalia. You're gonna touch my genitalia. You're gonna do my genitalia for free.
No, you're getting paid to remove hair from it.
Yeah, and it's like, mm,
Yeah. It's the entitlement for me.
except is
It's
Uh,
it?
funny
But
that she thought the lady thought it was like a big business because I just didn't think like a bunch of guys like, yeah,
honestly,
I'm about to get my
hon
butthole waxed, bro.
no, I was really getting some weird kind of vibe. I really think that like she was like escorting before she met her husband and
Uh-huh.
didn't know how like she didn't want to let it go or like, and I think that she was probably doing it that way. I'm telling you, there was something weird about it. It just didn't really make sense. I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but like, and then her husband was there, like when she interviewed me. It was just kind of weird. I was like, okay, I think that she stopped doing whatever she was doing in her past because of her husband, and she was still trying to figure out how to do it. That's what I think.
The way you just made it sound is like it was going to be a waxing and or either a
I can
waxing and
imagine the
then
husband just like looking around, like, "Oh, I don't can't look you in the eye. I don't. This is weird, but yeah,
yeah, or like you get
I love
waxed
my
and
wife."
secretly you do this,
Yeah, I don't know. I got a weird vibe about it because it was just a very odd like situation, and I was like, "No, I'm good. Like this is really weird." I think I like went to get a service done there for something, and then she found out I had my own business, and then she was like, "Oh, I can use her to do this," and then I was kind of like, "Wait a minute, so you want to throw me under the bus because you're married? Like, what makes you like what makes you like, you know what I mean? Like, what makes you better than me? What makes
Yeah. You
like?"
can't wax men's buttholes.
I'm like, okay, so because I'm single, I should be like putting myself in situations you wouldn't put yourself in. That's kind of how I looked at it. I was like, that's weird.
I mean, that's how a lot of people see it as though, because they feel that if a person is single and they're an attractive woman and they do cosmetology or they do something that can put them in a sexual quote unquote position, they'll be open for anything
Hey, you're
if they
alone.
see the
You want to
money.
go in this dangerous situation?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, give her a stalker and then send her home, and then he follows her home, and then no one's there, she's all by herself in there, and they're just gonna get her. But some people just don't think that far into it.
That's true. It's like, oh, your boyfriend won't be mad at you because you don't have one.
Yeah, I was just like, this is kind of weird, but whatever.
And on a side note, I would feel weird about anybody trying to wax my booty. I'm thinking
Yeah,
about what you're saying. And
well, that's not even the hard part.
like,
Like, getting your butt waxed is easy, but getting like it actually kind of feels good. But getting your like the top where the pubic bone is, and I mean, I don't have balls, so I'm
yeah,
sure probably would be like the worst. I don't know, but
It's hard to maneuver to shave.
I use
So I
I
can
have
imagine.
I have
I know
I
I've
bought these things called
like
manscapes for me.
I've done some manscaping before.
So yeah, I use those clippers called
It can be
manscapes
treacherous.
because like they have like a little protector. So whenever you're going over that area, like for me, like the top part doesn't matter, but when you're actually doing the actual balls area.
Wait. Explain yourself when you say the top part doesn't matter. Do you mean like you keep the hair on the top
No.
part
I
and
said it doesn't. It
shave
doesn't.
under?
It doesn't. It's not as like when you're using. When I'm using the Manscaped clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can go over the top, no issue. It's like it doesn't.
Okay,
I
you don't
don't.
have to be bald.
I don't fear anything. But when I do the actual where my testicles just lie, whatever, and you're doing using the Manscaped clippers, it has a little soft gel protector. So when you're doing it, whatever, it's very soft, and you don't risk, nipping.
Mm.
And I always know, like, whenever I get my eyebrows waxed, that initial jolt that comes from the person pulling the wax off, like that hurts like heck. And I can't even imagine what it would feel like down there. So
Yeah.
for people like, I don't know what you do, but for females who get, Brazilians or whatever, get the Brazilian wax and stuff like that.
Hats off to them.
Oh my God. Like,
Well,
Sugaring all that.
I stopped getting waxes for like a couple of reasons. And one of them is that, and the girls don't know this, but they don't realize it, but it darkens your genitalia. And that was one of the main reasons why I stopped, because that wax is really hot and it's kind of burning the skin,
yeah.
ripping the skin off. Like anybody could try to argue with me about this, but from
No, I can see that.
my experience, I've seen, like, I even have this little like darkened strip like on my butthole still, like the area from doing it, because then I started noticing it was getting darker, and then you could see like a strip area where they were putting the wax. Through time it just gets darker and darker and darker. So I stopped doing it as soon as I started noticing it was doing that. And because I was like, okay, now that's gonna be weird, like you're just gonna have like, and I'm like as pale can come. So if that keeps getting darker, I mean, we're just gonna look like we got a doo-doo, thing.
Ooh, that's no good.
Crack, so I stopped that, but then I also want to be ready on a dime, just like smooth, ready to go.
So you like with laser now?
No, so I don't grow a lot of hair naturally, so
Okay.
I don't really have like, a big problem. Plus I can't laser really because I'm blonde, so the hair is blonde, and the laser attaches to the color in the follicle, like the bulb, and that's the color is what it's targeting. So I don't have color in there because my hair is basically clear.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I tried lasering like
Where you know?
16 years ago. I tried lasering, and it hurts too. It's like someone takes a rubber band and snaps your skin with it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm good. So I just shave.
Okay.
Ow.
Yeah, like sometimes where the labia genitalia areas are, that skin is so like soft and like tender that it just was gonna start doing all kinds of weird things. I did rip my vagina one time.
Ow.
Yeah,
What?
so I was like, this is when I lived in the Bay, and at the time, like I worked for Benefit Cosmetics, and I waxed the face. So I can pretty much wax anywhere on your body, but when it comes to the lips or that area, I don't feel comfortable, and it's just scary, and a lot of bad things can happen. So I used to always be one of those people, like in my past, like I saved so much money because I did everything to myself pretty much. If you could do it to yourself, I did nails, I did my own manicures, I did my own gels, I waxed myself. I used to color my own hair, I used to cut my own hair, I used to do all this stuff. So I got home one day and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna wax like the whole thing because I usually wax like the top or around, and I was like through time would like slowly work my way down and to get more comfortable. Well, the thing that I didn't know was that they were using hard wax without oil. And when you wax the eyebrows, you want to use the soft wax and you want to use the oil because the skin's different. But down there, your skin's so much more sensitive that you need the hard wax to do it, and you need to do this shit right. So if there's any moisture under there, you're gonna rip your skin off. So I'm sitting there and I use the soft wax, which there are people who wax down there with soft wax, but this is like, you really need to have control and know what you're doing. But obviously I didn't really know that at the time. So I'm sitting like chair crouched open, waxing, and I'd never forget my ex came into the door at the time when I ripped, and I couldn't get it off, and it's like stuck. Now the soft wax stuck all over you like that is horrible because not only do you have to rip it off somehow, but then now you've got all this wax stuck to you and you've got to get all this wax off, and that takes a long time. You got to sit there and like rub it off with oil.
Especially if it's like little tiny pieces.
Yeah, and then when it's in all the hair, when you didn't get the hair off. So I ripped it off like bleeding, like, and he comes in the door right at the time. Now, if anybody could talk your head off, this motherfucker could talk your head off, okay? So he was a really talkative person, like, blah, 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 blah. So he walked into the door as soon as I did that, and I was like, he starts talking already, and I was like, looked at him, I put my hand out to him. I was like, don't even say a word right now. And he's like, and I knew it too. He leans over and he's like, what are you doing over there? And he leans down, he looks, and I was like, I said, don't say a word to me right now. Don't talk to me. Get away from me. And he's like, oh, did you hurt yourself? And and then he kind of started, he always like make something funny, kind of start laughing. I'm like, get out of here now. And then I had to sit there and I'm pissed off, like mad, like don't talk to me, trying to get this off, and I ripped my skin pretty bad. And then he's like, oh, and I was like, get the hell away from me. Like, just don't even talk to me right now. And then that's when I learned, I was like, okay, obviously something horribly like wrong happened,
Yeah.
So I went back to work and I told one of the girls there. And they're like, okay, so what did you do? I don't understand. And I'm like, well, and they're like, because your waxing is great here all the time. I was like one of the top waxers. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Okay. And then they were like, oh, that's hard wax that, and I was like, oh my God. Okay. This makes sense now. So yeah, we learned our lesson real hard there.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
I don't have that part. So I can imagine how much it hurts. Basically because y'all like it's easier to go inner than outer, if that makes sense. So ow.
Yeah, it was that was and then after that, I mean, I really never like did waxing for Brazilians because because of that, I was like, I never really felt comfortable. And no, it's definitely complicated service because out of like I could really do anything. I could do hair, I could color, I could wax all the face, the body. I did microblading, I did lash extensions, I did spray tans, I did makeup. I mean, I was a wheel and dealer type. If you could do it, hey, I got you. You can come here, you can spend your money here. That's the type of, worker I was. And then I was also like, I took pride in it and I wanted to be really good at it. So, I would perfect my skills and I was like literally one of the top, like literally over like all of Texas and everything, like microbladers or whatever. Like my clients still, like old clients still to this day keep like, oh man, I miss you so much. I've had people like want to fly to see me in other cities for me to do their microblading still and stuff. And I'm just like, can't. I have too much on my plate now.
But like I've evolved past that. See, I still like let's see, I get the wax done and like I got my first facial. They did a facial like 2 days after they did my waxing. And I'm like, that feels good too. So
yeah, just don't get too carried away with the facials.
well, I'm not like they told me to come.
Facials are really good, but don't do chemical peels.
I don't know what they use. I just know they
Man, you need to know what they use.
No.
Just let people put shit on your face.
Here's the deal. So it's a good friend of mine, and I know she wanted a video of her doing it to a male.
Yeah.
And like
I was that kind of girl.
So she has a lot of ones has done to females. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything that morning. Like, and I was like, I can come in really quick and have you do a facial to me. And like it felt so this was in November.
Yeah.
It felt so good. So
yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna see how often I should get one.
Well,
like,
you should. You just don't want the chemical peels.
I don't know what she used. It was just some time. I just know she like I have the video of it.
You would know if she did a chemical peel on you. You would know.
No, I don't think you had a chemical. You didn't have a chemical peel.
No, he didn't have a chemical peel. Yeah. Because you would know if you're basically when you get a chemical peel, your skin peels off, and the deeper.
No. It was
so the deeper tone your skin is, the more sensitive your skin is. And so that's why you have to be careful with chemical peels because like it can literally peel and scar and like burn your skin off. And it's different per like each person. So that's the only reason why I say that. And I've seen it happen to people, and I would hate to, be like, yeah, we talked about it that one time. The next thing you know, and I was like, damn, I should have told him, you need to be careful with the chemical peels and lasers on deep tone skin.
Yeah, she didn't use no. It was just
that
like some machine like thingy in her, some little like tool or whatever, and she was targeting blackheads or whatever.
I am so due for a facial. Like, what I see, because I'm pale as the paper on your desk, but like the chemical peels are really good, like for my skin. So it just really, you can't even tell, it just, everything just peels off. And then I have this great smooth skin. And I'm definitely due for a massive chemical peel, but I just haven't like gotten around to it yet. Because here's what happens when you do this: your skin peels, and it looks like, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Like when a snake's skin's peeling off.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like that, but your like face has got all these weird, huge like chunks of skin coming off. So it sounds very gross. It is very gross. It looks very gross. But when that skin comes off, your skin is just so smooth and even textured, and the color is great and vibrant, and you look younger. And
I know when she did.
Rob Star, sorry. You should do it though.
No, you should be careful. And
you should be careful.
No, I mean, I know.
Go to somebody who's very skilled in all skin tones.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You just need somebody who knows like skin tones, and they know how to, deal with it. And see, this is how you know I was very good at what I did, is because I have very knowledgeable of what your average, technician about those things. They don't really know that. And then, yeah, they just start taking it. Oh, well, we could just do this to you, and we could just do that to you. And the next thing you know, it's like, no, you can't do that to everybody.
See, the thing is, like, I know.
How long does that take to recover from?
Do you guys remember that influencer that had that done, and it went viral on every platform because they burned his skin off?
No.
I feel like I've seen like a little.
It was like a year or two ago, and he went and got a chemical peel, because there's several reasons how that can happen. Like on accident, right? Accident, quote unquote. Like, so he probably went to somebody who maybe didn't work on a lot of deep tone skin and didn't know, and has done a bunch of them and thought, oh yeah, sure, right? Because that's kind of what it sounded like when I listened to the story. And then he just goes and he's like, yeah, I heard this is great. And then how I explained to you, oh man, your skin comes off and you just have this wonderful, beautiful skin. And then you're like, well, I want that too. And I'm like, yeah, well, whatever happens to me is like not what, necessarily can happen to you. So then they, the person goes in and they get this done, and it literally burns your skin off. And then it takes the tone, and melanin with your skin. And then that's not what you want. So yeah, he had like burn patches of like white skin all over his face, because it burnt down all the way through to the like that second layer of skin.
Fuck.
Yeah, but so I'm like, well, if you know about that story, then I would be like, yeah, that's like what I'm trying to say. And it's one of those things that could be so simple, like, oh, it was just a day you woke up, the sun was shining, you're like, man, I've been to this person, I'm gonna trust them, I'm gonna go in, and you're having a great old day, you go in and get some regular ass shit done. Then the next 2 days, next thing you know, your skin's fucking falling off, and and you're like, what is wrong with me? And then they're like, I don't know, I've never seen this happen before. And then and then you're dealing with healing, and now your skin is doing not as good as it was before, and and everything's just downhill. That just sucks. I really felt bad for that guy.
Yeah, damn. You're thinking, damn.
Yeah, that sounds really bad.
But Yep. I wonder whatever happened with that. I don't know. I just remember him posting it all over social media, and I was like, oh my God, this is a huge lawsuit.
I mean, it's like it just seems like whenever you do something to your skin cosmetically, you run the risk of anything happening to you because sometimes
Yeah.
you don't know what you're allergic to.
Yeah. That comes with experience.
No, I mean like even because some people are allergic to like not
Any
the aloe stuff.
Yes. So, and
Yeah.
those that see, like with experience, you learn that. So whenever, you're waxing the eyebrows and stuff, because, we used to do this, and we had this whole questionnaire paper that you go over with people and stuff, and, make sure they're not on any Accutane or, taking anything. You didn't do any retinols or retin-A's within the last, like, 30 days, blah, 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 or whatever. And, you wax their eyebrows, and then we would put this aloe. Well, it had alcohol in it too, because which is not bad. It's good to have the alcohol on the skin after you wax it, because it keeps it clean and dries it out, and so it also helps breaking out. So when you put the aloe on, some people would have a weird like reaction. So then you just kind of figure it out, like, okay, so we're not going to put that on you, when we wax your eyebrows, and then they wouldn't have that problem. But yes, some people do have an aloe or a vitamin C allergy. So when I did lash extensions, so sometimes, like, it's not the glue, that the glue you could be allergic to glue and it can irritate your eyes, yes. But then also those little eye patches they put on your eyes when they're doing your lash extensions, those have vitamin C in it, or aloe or something in them. And when they put them on there, that can cause you to have an allergic reaction, or like irritated red, like swollen eyes as well.
Okay.
Is that usually why they use cucumbers instead?
No, I think that's just like an old, like, time, like, remedy, like cucumbers are soothing. And because cucumbers have, like, I can't remember the exact, scientifical ingredient, but cucumbers have natural, like, chemistry in them that is like a natural, like, astringent that helps, like, soothe. Just like witch hazel has like witch hazel is like an antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory. And it's a natural, like, look at me giving you guys all this sauce.
No, this sauce, yeah, about our skin. I'm like,
Just
Probably
education.
teaching a bunch of your listeners all kinds of shit.
Hey, this is educational. I'm taking
Yeah.
notes. I'm taking notes over here. Like, okay.
over here I'm like moisturizing. I gotta be watching what I put on my skin.
No, like, because honestly, like, I just started using oxy pads recently.
Oh my God, I remember those. Like, I remember my sister using them. I'm like, how old are you?
Man, you got some Noxzema over there too, Rockstar?
I don't have no Noxzema.
Is that giving away your age or what?
No, I'm old. I'm 40. I am 40 years old. So I just turned 40 a few weeks ago. And I'm like,
Yeah, okay. So yeah. My sister's like close to 40. And I remember when I was little, I'm several years younger than her. But I remember when I was little, yeah, of course it's not my age they put on the thing. But anyways, so I remember when I was little, she would use those like Noxzema like pads.
Yeah.
See, like my cousin used to use Noxzema. That's the way I can actually see it in the house before. My cousin used to have a lot of breakouts. So he used to always use the Noxzema stuff. I don't know if he still uses it or not. I know he's.
You know what? I think there were, man, if I think back on that, like I think there was something about the Noxzema pads that were probably causing it to be worse.
Because he was just using the actual cream, not the wipes.
Okay, my sister was using those like pads when they first came out. Everyone was like all on those, like that was the thing, But look at that, our like things have advanced like so much now. So
yeah, that's true.
See, the only thing I hate is like I have a bump like right here, and like I can't get rid of it, and it's annoying as heck, and it's just right in the middle of my nose.
You
And
gotta
Is
it's
get
it
that checked out, man. I mean, like, didn't
whole?
you get rid of it and then they grew back?
no, this one is always. This one started.
Oh,
It came in when I was young, and I've done everything cosmetically to get rid of it. And I've always thought it was something else via another condition I have, and it's not, and it will not go away. And I'm too much of a cheap a-hole to try to get like paid to have it laser removed. So it's like at
I'll
this
take
point,
some scissors to it.
if you cut my face with some scissors, we will
I
fight.
did that on my ex. I cut. He would shave his head, and I think like from shaving it would catch on the razor somehow, and then it started growing like the skin started growing like a growth from doing that, from catching it constantly. So one day we were like, he was bothering him and bothering him because it's not going to go away, like it's only going to get worse. And then he would nick it again in the shower, and then he was like whining about it. So finally I was like, well, I mean, we could cut it off. And he was like, I think he thought about it for a while. And then finally one day he's like, all right, do it. Let's cut it off. So we
Tired of
got
it.
we got those little, and I told him, I was like, listen, when it heals, you really got to listen to me or it's going to do the same shit again. You got to put the vitamin E on it. I had this whole process for him to follow. So we got those little like surgical like type scissors and cleaned the area, sterilized the scissors, and then just chopped it off right at the base. It bled a lot, but then and I was right. It literally held. I mean, it healed flat.
That's great.
See, I
Problem
always
solved.
I always thought it was like for me, because like when I was younger, like on my little finger right here, I had like something like just the same thing, but on my finger right here, and we had that cut off. So I always thought like whatever
Oh,
that was, it was yeah. But no, it grew out just like this, but right here on my
Did you have an extra finger?
that's what everybody used to say. They said I had 6 fingers on my yeah, 6 fingers on my left hand because it was
was
like little thingy like right here, and it was just like a little tail growing out
like
on
a
my
wart.
finger. No, it wasn't a wart. It was there when I was little when I was a little baby. So
Oh,
it wasn't a
okay.
wart. So it just grew out. It was like little. I don't just think of this. I don't know you can see it or not because it's dark in here, but
Yeah.
like that on into my and like coming out of my left hand, like right there. I can see where it's at still because like it's a little brown mark, but like right there is where it was, and it was
Oh,
just
okay.
trying to come out, and I'm like, oh my god! And they cut that off when I was like, they cut it off when I was 7, so I can remember that clearly. And like, we used
Well,
to joke.
just go ahead and get the thing removed on your nose.
We used to
You
make
got
fun.
the
I
money.
don't know, man. That the nose, that area though, it's your face, and it's just it looks like larger too. Like it doesn't look like it's very like tiny. So I don't know. I'd be scared to do it.
Yeah, and that's why like I've always been like, "Ugh."
That's
I
true.
don't
You might go to somebody and they might say, "Hey, we'll look worse."
and like
Yeah,
I don't
and then remember what I said about the lasers. So imagine if you went and had it lasered off, and then it was just like white.
yeah.
Fuck.
I can picture
White
it.
nose Rostov.
Yeah, like those.
Sorry, I'm not laughing.
Look like I
It's
just like I
I
just
was
did
like,
something.
I was
No,
quiet until he started saying stuff in the background. So
laugh. Be white like I just did some cocaine. Walk around like yeah.
well, because it'll take all your skin off, so underneath your skin is gonna show, and it's gonna be like white,
See that's the only thing that would
like a
bother.
scar.
Or it'd be like one weird color.
They didn't tell
For
you that part, did they? They
no.
didn't tell you that was a risk. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like that's the thing. People don't talk about that part, or they don't know, and that's scary. That's what's worse.
Well, like this one right here, where they cut off whatever, it's like a very light brown, so it's almost unnoticeable. But like I know it
Yeah,
was
but you got to
there.
take in consideration your age when they did it, though, too.
Yeah, I was 7. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that makes a huge difference doing it when you're younger than when you're like older, your body just doesn't, it's just not the same. Like your healing process is like, we heal so fast and so much better when we're younger, and then things disappear, you know, they stretch out, they disappear. But now that we're older, like, it's like, all right, is this worth it? I don't know.
That's true. You could have a giant scar on your nose. So.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
that would just go with
So I've been
my
following
name, Raw Star.
one of these accounts that, and I've been watching them, and they do like on keloids, they have someone takes like a needle and they inject something into the keloid to get rid of these people's keloids, right? Well, the weird thing is when you're looking at it, it does that. It scars them, and then the keloid comes off, but then it's like all white. And then I'm thinking, like, well, you either have a keloid or you have a whole white patch on your skin. What? How does this like? I even commented one time, and I was like, so I mean, already knew like that's was what it was, and I'm like, hey, so is that what's scarring their skin? And of course they probably never responded to me, because I probably said like the most scariest thing that anyone can say to them, because then once people start realizing what's happening to them, then they're going to be like, oh man, this was a bad idea. But they're like injecting something into these keloids, and it's burning these keloids off, but then it's leaving a scar. And I'm like, but then what's the point of doing the service if now you have a gigantic scar that's very obvious when the keloid bothered you to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
See, like I have a willingly keloid in my arm, so like I got it on purpose. So, and that was just weird there because some days it's okay, some days I feel like I shouldn't have got it. I have I'm in a fraternity, so I have a brand.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it like a scarification?
Yeah, I did a brand on my arm, so it's
Yeah.
just my fraternity brand, and like it keloids up, whatever. And like I was glad when I got it, but now it's like I'm getting older. Should I really have actually gotten it? And I wasn't young when I was. How old was I when I got it? I was.
Weren't you down there 30?
Yeah,
Come on now.
I was dang near 30.
He's like, come on,
I
man.
was 26.
So I
I was
mean,
26 when I got it, and now that
your
I'm
brain,
40.
You're old enough to know better.
well, you know what? Your brain was fully developed when you got it, so there's no excuses. No.
Oh no, like
Yeah.
no, I have not given it an excuse. I got it because I wanted it when I got it, and now it's kind of like, oh, what was I doing?
What were you doing?
But anybody can say that about any tattoo that they may have gotten in their lifetimes. Like,
Oh, absolutely. Through time, you might change. Like I have, like, let's see, one. I always had to count. 1, 2. Now I have a new one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the new one. So the only one that I don't like is the feather on my back, and it's not the feather on my back. It's because, well, it is the feather on my back, but it was a cover up. That was a cover up. That's why it's like the odd tattoo, is because it's not really like, it doesn't look as cool and flow or like
it feels
what.
like it doesn't belong.
Yeah, because it was a cover up, and it was like a star I had on my back down there that my kid's dad had did. Like he bought like a home machine, and it looked better than everybody else's tattoo, I'll tell you that. But I didn't even let him finish, and this is when I was 17. And so it was just the
What?
star for a really long time. I had a star on there, and I wrote, like, it's funny how my name's Jenna Starr and I had a star. But so then one day I decided, what, I'm gonna go get that covered up. And I went and I had this feather put on there, and I mean, it was horrible, it was ugly. Like I just think that the guy like lied about his work, because this is like, and he almost did a solid tattoo, which would have been really bad. And I was like, no, 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 let's shade it blue, whatever. Well, the way that my type of skin I have is that it's really easy to mess up a tattoo on my skin type, because it'll like blur, it'll bleed, it'll like blur out, so it'll become foggy and fuzzy, and it won't be like crisp if you don't do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go too deep, So he went too deep. He messed this tattoo up, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm like, "No, I'm an artist. This looks really bad, and it's driving me crazy." So I went and I had found another really, really good artist go over it, and he made it look 1,000 times better. It's still at the bottom. It's that old tattoo, and it just kind of looks funny, but the rest of it, he made it look way better. But that one, yeah, that one bothers me a little bit because of the bottom of it is like foggy still, and it's not really crisp, but the rest of them are very strategically placed and thought out, and so
I know, like the one on my leg just looks so oddly placed because it's just there. But I do know, like, I wanted to get a few more, I just never got around to it. And like, I have 4 tattoos, and literally the only one you ever see is if I wear shorts because they're all like on my chest, on my titty area. So
your titty area.
on my titty, yeah, they're like right here, like on my titties, and and they're all like they're all like memory tattoos. Like it says my mother's name right here, and like a rest in peace thing for somebody. So they're all like, and
Yeah.
the one on my leg is the odd one out because it's for my fraternity, but the ones up here on my upper body is just like mom name, rest in peace to my dad, and rest in peace to my brother. So it's like which one of these
Yeah.
do not belong?
Yeah, I put mine when I had started getting them, I put all of mine are like where you can't really see them. Obviously, we see them because my body is out for
Oh
display for
yeah,
the whole world.
yeah, now
But
yeah.
before that, you didn't really see my tattoos unless I was in a bikini or something because all of them are placed in like my mid cavity area for the most part.
Mhm.
And so every time if I had a shirt on or just regular day or whatever, you wouldn't ever know I had tattoos. And the funny part about that is how many times people would start talking shit about tattoos and people who get tattoos and they wouldn't know that I had a bunch of them, but you just can't see them because I have a shirt on. So, but now obviously, I'm out for display. And then the funny thing is I think people miss them too. Cause I've like posted, oh, I think I'm thinking about getting a new tattoo. What should I get? And then all of the hate about tattoos starts coming in. And I'm like, guys, I have tattoos already. Don't understand. It's usually men. Men usually do that. They start talking crap about tattoos. And I'm just like, what?
You know,
Why would you want to
I've never
desecrate your beautiful
understood.
body? Why would you
Yeah.
want to do that?
You just destroyed your beautiful body. Like, well, I think you're still enjoying it.
I've never understood the negative connotation was like on tattoos in general. Like I can understand people say that someone may have too many, but at the end of the day, it's their body. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes you happy, man, whatever makes you happy, just shouldn't. People always tell you, don't worry about what other people think. Be confident, be secure. But then they'll be the first ones to sit there and tear you down about something you did for yourself or wanted for yourself.
That's true.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
surgery, tattoos, like any type of like modifications or adjustments to your
You
body.
can't
Like
get
there's
a
men
tat.
who don't like you to get your hair done. They don't like you to color your hair. They don't like you to wear makeup. They don't like you to get your nails done, anything. And it's just kind of like, that's weird. You want us to be confident and happy and love ourselves and celebrate ourselves, but then you're like, don't do that.
Yeah, I've
Fulfill
heard people. I heard people
I don't like it.
like what like with the same people who like people who like boob jobs, whatever. You have the same amount of dudes that say, "Oh, I liked her until she got this done," and it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
her freaking body, my dude.
yeah.
No, let her.
I don't really believe them though when they say that though. I don't believe them. I don't think it really matters like that much. I think there's things that matter, but I really think it's more of like a negging thing or like a narcissistic like I'm up here and you're down here, you seek my approval. I don't think it really or a control because I've been in relationships like that where it was like don't wear that makeup, like you just want people to look at you or and it's like what? No, I don't have to wear any makeup. I could put on sweatpants, not wear any makeup, and I could walk out somewhere, and it is not going to change. It is not going to change.
No, not.
I could wear a muumuu.
You might get hit on more.
Exactly. I put a muumuu on. I could wear a muumuu. Okay.
Look at you in this muumuu in this grocery store. What's your name? You just chill, ain't you, in this muumuu? Just chilling.
The reason I say this is because I have gone to public places wearing almost anything at any time. I know it doesn't matter what I put on. They are always going to be looking and trying to talk.
A mic drop moment.
Yeah, my grandma's like, put a bag over your head. I'm like, Grandma, they're still going to see the ass. What do you mean?
They like.
You can't.
Us men are very.
What's under that bag?
We are very simple creatures. Like, I believe, like, even when we had the mask because of COVID, all they could see was this, and they're like, "Oh,
you got some sexy ass."
I don't care what's underneath that mask. I want that whole presentation.
Yeah.
So even if you're just walking around in pajamas, oh, that girl's comfortable. She's already ready to go. It's like,
yeah,
you're laughing, CW, but you know I'm right.
Oh no, I mean, I
never thought about it.
You damn near look homeless. I'd be like, hey, girl, you need a shower. Come with me.
Come with me. Oh my God. Oh my God. That reminded me one time, one of my friends, I love her so much. She's so sweet. Obviously, I'm not going to say any names, but oh my God, she made this joke one time. I feel like she was halfway serious, but she made this joke one time and she's like, some of these, like, oh my God, some of these homeless men, they're like really, they're really cute. And I mean, I'm just like, man, I could take you home and give you a shower and clean it off and
just be like, hey, you're mine. Just like a stray dog.
Yeah, she's like, some of them are really hot. And I'm just like, oh, come here, honey. I could take you home and put you in the shower and suck your dick.
Oh, wow.
Hey, where'd you go, Bob? Man, that lady picked me up. She gave me a shower. She sucked my dick and just sent me on my
way. Yeah, I was like, well, to each his own. But I
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm gonna say this, and this is honestly, you don't like if you meet somebody on the street, you don't know their home life, because there's a lot of people that people take home just because like they're out and about, whatever. That person could have took a shower at the YMCA that morning.
No, that's definitely
no, and went out and then did to do with somebody.
I was a homeless teen. I was homeless for a few out of my teens, so I know.
Yes. I mean, like, I know a few people who were homeless for one point or another in their life, so they made it. Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean you're on the side of the road.
Yeah,
around like dirty. Yeah, no, I know.
No, all I'm saying is, it's like people look down on homeless people, and they're saying, "Oh, you slept with a homeless person." The thing is, it's like, you have a one night stand with somebody, you don't know where they're going home to.
I think. Look, I was about to say, I think we've all slept with a number of homeless people.
If any of the ladies I know are listening to a certain time in my life, I was the homeless person. If you didn't know,
in my
car,
I
was the homeless one.
In my car.
Yeah, and I was sleeping in Ross Star's car.
I had my first car and I was homeless in. It was a Honda Civic. It was a really pretty blue color. As we all know, blues are my favorite colors, and plural. And it was a stick shift, and that car really got me. It was cute too, but that was home for a good period of time. I definitely went from, once I did kind of find like somewhere to stay, I kind of went from like place to place to place, and so.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a moment where they have to, reinvigorate themselves. And now you're a superstar worldwide. Everybody knows Jenna Starr, and CW. CW owns his own business. He has a fitness studio. He trains people, whatever. Yeah, so
whatever.
What you do, and she's the Jenna Starr.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it through so much with 2 dependents with no child support.
Oh.
So I guess you could say it like that. I became a superstar with just about everything working against me. I'm not a superstar yet though, like it'll be there one day.
I will say this.
I
hate the like. I'm looking at.
You blown up.
I was looking at your Twitter earlier, and I seen you were at X3. I was looking through my pictures a second ago, and I don't think I took a picture of you at X3, so I must have missed you.
Why? You wanna know why?
Why?
Because I was there the first night, and then I got in my car and I drove all the way back to Vegas because I was done.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. And I just think that like I just got to like a point to where I was like, enough is enough for now, because I did all of AVN, and I'm a huge introvert. I'm high functioning autistic. I'm ADHD, dyslexic. I got all kinds of shit going on in there. Okay. So like I did AVN, and trying to get through that was very rough for me because I don't like crowds. I don't like crowded areas. Like I get anxiety going to the grocery store, going to the malls. I order just about everything. So I order all as much as I can online. I try to avoid like human interaction like at all costs because I'm like huge introvert. So that being said, going and being so like physically in front of people was just like really hard. I was having panic attacks back to back to back to back. And then in order to try to like deal with it, then I would drink, and then that would make me hungover, and then that wasn't good. So it just was too much for me. And then there's just a lot of different like energies going on, and I'm an empath, so I can feel everything and see everything. And so then that's annoying. So it was great. Like, it was good that I went. I was nominated. That was awesome. I did what I was supposed to do. I wore the damn heels that made my feet bleed. I met a lot of wonderful fans, and that was the best part. And then I'm thinking like, damn, I had to like find an outfit for every day. I had to pay to get my hair and makeup done. I paid for a hotel room even though I lived in Vegas because I didn't want to run back and forth. And then if I had people around, I didn't want them, around my house. So anyways, then I was like realizing like, damn, now I've got to have a whole nother certain amount of outfits. There's just a lot of stress. And so I drove out to LA. I get there, waited in line 2 hours. Then I finally get in, and it was just a lot. It was a lot for me. So
wait a minute, you had to wait. You had to wait 2 hours to get in.
Yeah, no, yep. So it just was like I just hit like my breaking point. Now, mind you, during all these weeks, I wasn't really working at all because there was Thanksgiving, then there was Christmas, then there was New Year's, then right away came AVA. So we got
then right before that you had the entire everybody couldn't shoot because of the swabbing thing and stuff.
Exactly. So we're talking like weeks of me not actually like working. So it got to a point to where I was like, all right, I did AVN. I'm glad I got that. But now at this point, this isn't really like the investment right now isn't quite like balancing itself out.
Understand.
So I just got in my car and I was like, we're done for now until next year if we can get it. I don't know why they have those two back to back. And I drove all the way home, and I'm home. I'm in my bed right now. I'm happy. I'm in my house. Like I have control over my environment.
Well, I know like this is the second year X3 has happened because they used to not do that, and it used to be a little bit later, but now they are trying to just keep it close. So like they try to make the award shows back to back, and the only ones that are later in the year are like XRCO and Urban X. So that's why like the majority of them you're gonna see is between January and February.
Yeah, I just think that it's honestly like business wise, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have a lot of shoots set up around the area, or like you're one of No,
mental,
no.
like
Yeah,
mentally. I'm not even just talking about the shoots. I'm talking about like mentally and financially and physically having all of that so many days and then back to back is too much on like an individual, I think. And so for those who are able to just do that, like that's awesome. I'm happy for you. I only think there's a few of them, but that is just like rough. So if there was if anybody asked me my opinion, which I don't even know if anyone cares, but I
I
think
care.
that was very like too close together.
It's the second year they've done it, so I know they might move it, but as I
Yeah,
say again, this
like
is the second year extra.
move it. At least if they move it like a month, you give people time to recharge their batteries and get sleep and get a break from all of the energies and stuff, because man, that's a lot. But also then again, I'm an introvert, so people who are extroverts are going to go and thrive, and they're going to be like floating around like butterflies and stuff. So
Honestly, the majority of people who I pile around with that are in the industry, the majority of them are introverts. Like they like keep to themselves a lot, and they go out, they'll go out and they'll have a switch. Like, so they are very comfortable talking to everybody, but then as soon as they leave that event, they're the one bothered with anybody.
yeah,
So
that's not really an extrovert though.
no,
Like
no,
that
no. I said an introvert. Like
that's
they
a yeah, because that's a switch exactly.
yeah.
But think about switching that's a lot of energy. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I used to social mask like big time, and I was really good at it too. I didn't even realize I was doing it. So like switching like that and social mask, it takes so much energy to do that it drains you to do that. And then through time I've stopped social masking like more and more, like, I quit it and done it less and less and less and less, and I don't feel obligated, because why, like I'm secure, I'm financially secure, I have my shit in order. So then it's like I do it when I absolutely need to, then I do it, so. But that is very draining, though, to be honest with you. Switching is very draining, and a lot of people don't even know they're doing it or realize they're doing it. If you haven't really taken a look at yourself, you don't really know what's going on. But yeah, that's a lot.
I understand.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks to be on.
Yeah, you got to keep that on. And then if you're with people now, you've got to keep that going around people. Like, let's say they're in your hotel room, or like that constant 24/7. If someone is around, you need to keep that mask on, to really
Yeah, keep it going.
keep that. Yeah, that's a lot. And then if something's bothering you on top of that, if someone does something that bothers you, ooh, that mask is melting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I just felt like that the whole time. I just masculine. I'm sorry.
it is a real thing.
You
Social
understand.
masking.
As always,
Yeah.
so we wear the mask at Grins and Lines. So like, yeah, I get that. And it's really hard for some people to even function. And that's why I thought you were there both days for a second, because I know that first day, like I wasn't really on it as much as I was it the second day. Because actually the second day I went to every table I could and took a picture of everybody, like, hey, okay.
Yeah. No,
Smile for me.
some things were said to me, some things happened that really like threw me over the top. So then I was
I'm
just like,
sorry.
I got to get out of here before I drop my mask.
I understand.
I was like, I need to go home.
I know a few people didn't show up that
Someone
second
kicked
day.
my stuff all the way across the floor. Some guy kicked my things and just flew all the way across the floor. Didn't pick it up. Didn't say sorry. Like there was just a lot of just interesting.
Oh, he'll
Yeah,
be an a-hole. I'm sorry.
yeah. There was just a lot of interest. I was like, okay, so I think we met it. We definitely reached our limit here, and it's probably best if I just go home and hide in my hole, my cave.
Yeah, I know it was an entire incident that happened on the second floor on day 2 that happened, and I know people. It was an issue that certain people had to get thrown out.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, so here's the
Yeah.
thing though. The vibe was very different at this place than it was AVN. And as soon as I picked up on that vibe, I was like, I'm out. I had a lot of fans that were rude. They were being very rude. There was talent that was being very rude. There was a lot of like everything, the energy and vibe changed. Like it was definitely like a very, like, I hate to say it, but it was very on a lower scale, like situation going on. And I waited in line 2 hours. Like then, someone kicked my stuff all the way across the floor and it slid. And then I had to go over there and get it, and then he just keeps going past, there's a lot of people who just, shove past you like you're just like a piece of, trash on the floor. And so I was just like,
were you in the first group or the second group, like for the day, for that day?
the first, imagine being there for the second.
No, because I'm wondering
What
because
happened was we waited
I
in
got
line
there for the
huh?
first group. So I got there the first day at about I think it started at 3 the first day. So I walked in at like about 3:10 when I was there the first day. And I had to wait.
Well, I got there because I was told to get there before 2. And so I got there before 2, and then they didn't get us on the floor until like 4 something. Actually, like on the floor, I think we got on the floor like prepared at 5. So we waited in 2 lines. We waited in the first line, then we waited in the second line, and okay, fine. So we gotta wait in lines. We gotta check our bags. We gotta check us in, or whatever. But and then there was people trying to cut the line because of whoever they thought they were, like they had seniority over people. So that was like, luckily, like thankfully, the security was like, no, you can't do that. Like you can't just cut the line. Like these people, we waited in line for hours, and you're just gonna just show up and then try to cut everyone in because you think you have seniority. So
Yeah, I know.
that was frustrating. There was just a lot of stuff going on that just was not, it just was out of hand. And then the fans there was some extraness going on. Some people were being very rude, the things they were saying to me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, hey, this ain't the strip club, buddy. Like this is not, you can't be walking in here just, you know, doing all that talking to me like that any kind of way, like, it was just really weird. So I was like, I don't think this is the environment that I want to be in, and it's not healthy for my mental health. So that's why I left. And maybe there's people who can't speak up like this, and maybe there's people who are too scared, because I've seen so much people scared to talk in this industry. But I don't care. I'm going to say it. This is how I felt. This is what happened. If you're wondering why people are falling apart and they're not sticking to it and all this, these crazy things are going on, it's because nobody can talk and nobody can say anything about how they feel. Damn, I just got emotional right now.
No, like you gotta say,
No, it's
I'm
very
like,
true.
people are really struggling out here and nobody
Jenna,
wants to admit it.
Jenna, I agree with you. I know, like
Sorry, but there is a lot of
that's why they always
people in
say
this.
that. That's
There
why
is a
they
lot
always
of
say that every convention has that different crowd
there is a lot of
because
rude people in this industry. I'm sorry, there is a lot of rude people in this industry. There.
yeah, there
Sorry,
is.
I just said
Like
it.
I'm not gonna say names, but there are a lot of people who are just pure a
And
holes. But then there are some people who are real, like pure sweethearts. And
I'm
like
gonna have to
I've been around porn for
admit
14
the
years.
majority are kind of rude, bro.
yeah, come on, man. I'm
Rightfully
sorry.
so
I
in
know
some
it's your podcast.
instances, but
Look, I will give you the credit that you can't really say much, and I totally understand that, but I'm gonna say it for you because I know
Like honestly, like I would say, I've been around for a long time,
the
and
majority of
I've seen a
people
holes, and I've seen people who are pure of heart, but then I've seen
there.
people who are nice to certain people, but then are a holes to a completely other set of group of people, and
Yeah,
I've seen it,
there's
and it's like.
yes.
And it's like I always like sit back because I try to be, the peaceful person in the background because I kind of interact with so many people like off and on. But there are certain people in this industry that I just would not trust with anything because I know how they are. You know.
It comes from insecurity. That's where it roots from. That's what causes grandiose egos, and that's what causes narcissism. That's what causes people to be rude to people. That's what causes people to be two-faced. That's what causes people to act like this, is because they are very insecure. I came into this industry as a grown ass woman. I ran businesses for years. I've been in so many kind of situations in my life, and I walk into this with the eyes very wide open, business minded woman. I didn't come into this industry because I needed somebody to look at me. I know what I'm talking about right now. I walked into this and I was like, whoa. If anything, it's sad. It's very sad to me. I think that we should be here more for each other, because as sex workers, we get beat down in this world more than anything else. And you walk into an industry where you think that we should be supporting each other, because we don't have a lot of support. Some of us never had support. You walk in and these people are just like, their egos are very like embarrassing, to say the least, really though. Embarrassing. Sometimes I feel embarrassed. I'm like, wow. But yes, so that is why I left. So if everybody wants to know why I didn't keep going and why I didn't do X3 and finish it out, that is the God honest truth. And it is what it is. So then I have to accept that. That's the way it is. And I move forward, and I just cut all bullshit aside. What is important to me and what is not important to me, and I move forward. That's how I got where I'm at in my life. It just all washes away. I just literally mentally block it out, and I focus on what is important to me.
I understand that. That makes complete sense. So, I mean, since I didn't get an opportunity to meet you there, hopefully I'll meet you at some other impasse in the future. But I understand that completely. I would be pissed off too if I had to wait 2 hours. Because I know people who got in and they put them in the model room, and they sit there for like 40, 50 minutes.
That was the second line you waited in. Because once you went through the first line, you got into that model room, and then everyone's just kind of crowded in there. And then we waited for a while, and then they started lining people up. And then everyone just got in line when they got in line. So then that line was like, then you had to wait in that line, you know? So then there was like 2 lines, but waiting in that line wasn't the worst part. It was everything else I said, you know, really. So
I understand.
But yeah,
but I know about that second line.
And yeah, I think with X3, there's a definite different vibe, because it's like the Palladium. It's down the street in LA. It's not like a excursion like Vegas is, and like there's a certain kind of behavior. Like, you're in Vegas, you better act like a certain way. Like, yeah, you can get crazy, but like, respect and things.
I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong, but didn't the fans pay a certain amount to get into AVN, and then what did they pay to get into X3? Because I do feel like
it's definitely a different.
You are 100% right. But I feel like it is true, and there's a little bit more to it than that. What did they pay to get in? Where was it located? And what city was it in? Because there is a big difference. Like, being in LA has a certain vibe. So then you're going to get your certain type of crowd. Any city you go to, you're going to get your different type of crowd. I tour a lot. So I know how people are in different cities. You know, I know how men are in different cities. So
that's why everybody say like the New Jersey crowd the most.
So, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. That East Coast, New York, Jersey area, that when I've literally feel like I get treated probably the best. I feel more appreciated whenever I ask for things. Like, it's simple. So I feel like for the most part, okay, I do deal with great people other places, you know, but when you move your little like shift to the different cities, you know, the funnier stuff starts happening more in certain areas. So, or different types of funny things. Like, one funny thing might happen in this city, but then and it's like a thing they do in the city. And then this other city does this other weird thing. And you're like, it's like a thing over here.
But here in LA, we're nice, but not kind.
I agree.
Surface nice usually, but not very actually good in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't.
People out here feel more entitled too.
Yeah, there's a lot of entitlement. I would agree to that. I would agree that there's a lot of entitlement and grandiose egos in LA, you know, where people think they're above other people. Like, they want to bypass, like, you know, certain like requirements I might have or whatever. They want to bypass that because they think that they're above, other people, or they'll ask for certain things. Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, nah, no, sorry, but you are not. Or it's the I look good card. Well, I look good, so shouldn't I? Well, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, what makes you so you're better than the next guy because you think you look better than him, so you think that you should get special treatment? Like, that's kind of weird,
Yeah.
But anyway, so I do agree with you. The fact that it's got like we were inside of Resort World, so the security is very high. The casinos and hotels require a lot out of, so I would say if I had to pick an environment, it would be that environment of avian, even though it was still kind of a lot. That's just because there was a lot going on. But when it came to like regulated, it was very like way more organized, and I felt more safe. So maybe whoever puts X3 together, if they heard my opinion or what I had to say, like, maybe there's some things, that could be done to kind of help, people out. But I just think the crowd's different, really. The crowd was just
It's just a
very
crowd. Because like, and what's up? Every crowd has a different dynamic from people who do stuff in Vegas, LA, New Jersey, DC, and Miami. It's a completely different crowd. That's why, like, every time I talk to somebody in Chicago, people hate Chicago the most. Chicago's the worst. But when it comes to New Jersey, people say that's the best one of all of them. And they
I heard though, like, if you're gonna if you're gonna visit Chicago, like I heard a summer, like a little trip in the summer to Chicago. I heard the city's pretty lit though.
Well, I'm from the Midwest, so I like. And I'm talking about doing like a convention there, or like doing conventions there, like having this stand around and interact with fans. They usually say that was the worst.
Chicago. I didn't do any of the conventions. I've been to Chicago. I am leery of Chicago. I will be honest with you, because a lot of stories I've heard have come out of Chicago. But though I heard that the city's pretty cool. Like during the summertime, if you visit or whatever, it's got a little vibe or whatever.
Oh, Chicago's nice to visit.
Yeah. I heard survive in the summer, but
like, let's say again, I'm from the mid. Like, I used to teach in Chicago when I was a teacher, so it's a nice area. But it's just like, as far as safety for performers in general, it's not the best. It's not the best for safety. They lax on that a lot in Chicago compared to everywhere else.
Yeah. Yep. New York's good, but New York is definitely triggers my anxiety and paranoia.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of people for you, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I really have a full breakdown every time I go, which I'm going here in like less than a week. So I usually have a full breakdown, like as long as I'm not alone, which I'm not. I'm like, oh my God. So
you always need that buffer person.
It's so I had cool. I will pay for security because it's really intense, and I feel like I had like 4 people who were gonna like have masks on, and they like rolled past me through the crowd. I'm like, no, there ain't no way you should be wearing a full mask. Like no, you do it up to something weird. Come on,
I mean, it depends. Like, in my opinion, it depends on what type of mask. Because I know
I could feel it.
No, listen, and this is why I say this, because I know there are some conventions where people wear outfits at everyone because it's their character, whatever, but they also don't want to show their face.
No, it
at convention.
Definitely like if you've seen think of a shooter's like kind of thing.
I agree.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, like
no,
white people have a balaclava on all the time.
But yeah, exactly. Like it's just not outside. Like walking when it's hot, you have your full body and face covered, and you're moving funny. Like I know
what you mean. Yeah.
No, I can feel when something's wrong, and I can feel energy from people. And so that's the thing. I can feel it. I'm like, nah, something's not right about that. You know how many times I was right and something, I've proven myself something weird. I'm like, nope, something funny's going on.
Miss Jenna. I can understand, but
yeah. So
I do need to hit on some points really quick because we are we went over time, but I do want to know some points. So really quick, what can fans look forward to from you this year that you have planned coming up and stuff like that?
So I don't like to tell my plans.
Things that you can say, like
I
if
will
you
say though, like, yeah, I'm not gonna tell exactly what I got my eye on and what I'm gonna do, just because I'm one of those people where I like to just do them,
understandable.
whatever, and not speak on it like that. But I will say though, I'm working on a lot of plans with my OnlyFans. This is always the plan is always my OnlyFans. Trying to make a lot of shifts with it and get like assistance and stuff, like help, so that I can actually like make more content, like I need people to help me make content. So that's my number one focus right now, is making sure that I have the backing I need to make all this content for my fans.
Mm-hmm.
That is very hard for me to do right now because I'm running all of my stuff and I'm doing so many things all by myself and alone that it's just kind of like it just starts to weigh on you. So I need a lot of help. So that's my main thing that I'm focusing on, and that's really going to change. That's really going to change the projection of the year on how it's going to start unfolding for me. So that I do have some magazine covers that I'll be doing. Just getting those done. Probably, of course, there's going to be some, pro scenes out there somewhere. But yeah, I think like the main thing I really want to focus on now, since last year was very hard for me, that I made the move I made from Texas to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and I floated 3 rents for 6 months, and I went through so much to make the move, which was great. It's great. It's doing great and even better than, I planned, and I'm happier now. But I need to really focus back on myself, and I've been back in the gym the last several months. I need to be focusing on, making sure that I don't drink and staying focused, consistent, healthy, and taking care of myself and making sure that my mental health is good. And this is my main focus for this year, is about tending to me, because I have rarely ever been able to do that because I just constantly work my butt off. So that's it.
Well, I wish you the best in everything that you do this year, because I know we're
Thank
just
you.
starting off, and like you've already had a trying year already, and we're only 19 days in at this time. This is gonna air on Tuesday, but like we're only 19 days in, and it's already a lot. It's already too much. So I understand like breathing to get through everything.
Yeah, well, I always find my way. So
I mean, you got this. Like via this conversation, you are fun, Miss Jenna.
no, I'll be fine. I always
No, no,
find
no.
my
I said no. I
way.
said you are fun. You are FUN. You are fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it offended you, cut it off. I always chop shit off. So
So since we did go over, where can everybody find you? Oh, she almost dropped my ring. Where can everybody find you and sub to all your stuff and get everything from you, because like, yeah, you are great.
Yeah, it was a great
thanks.
conversation.
Yeah.
So my Instagram is Jenna Starr with 2 R's, and then my just about every other platform is Jenna the Star with 2 R's. So my Twitter is Jenna the Star with 2 R's. My OnlyFans is Jenna the Star with 2 R's. Yeah, that's for my TikTok is Jenna the Star with 2 R's.
Real quick, TW, where can I find you? Your
You
new
can find
social
me
media.
as Fast Food Fit Coach on most social platforms. Just look it up.
And you can find us, the Burbank Misfits, on Instagram, and Burbank Misfits on everywhere else, on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm Raw Star with 2 R's, like she's Jenna Star with 2 R's. Sad we gotta say with
Oh,
2
so
R's.
you know,
Huh?
cool.
Yes. Like everybody leave off the R of my Raw Star. I'm like, it's 2 R's. And Raw Star is one
Well,
word,
that's
it's
cool.
not 2
We had a
words.
raw conversation. So
Everybody, please go out there and support her in every
Okay.
in every manner and give her the love and like all the love she deserves and pay for her content. Please don't try to, steal it. She's working hard for you so you can work hard for her. And we will see you all next week.
Awesome.
Oh, shoot, hit the wrong button. Yeah.